What's going on Facebook? I'm just turning on live for YouTube, and I'm gonna make an announcement in Discord, and we're gonna launch, right? We're gonna go live. I'm gonna do a market update, and yeah, it's been lots going on, guys. A lot going on in this world. I did switch out my microphone setup, so if audio is good, let me know. If it needs tweaking, if you guys need me louder, let me know as well, right? So I've been wanting to stream more often, especially since last Sunday I put out a newsletter saying BTC is going to 8,000, right? We put that out on Sunday, we put that out again on Monday, and we were in the 72, 73 range. We did hit 8,000, we did come back down, and now we're back above that 8,000 level. The chart is looking very interesting, right? I'd love to see a retest of 89, and then we'll go from there. Before we dive into that, I want to apologize for not streaming. We did get an earthquake on Tuesday morning, and it knocked out the power on the island. I have been without power for 3 days. It came back a little bit yesterday and then went back out again. So, and it just came back today. So it's really been going between hotels and going to like working from the virtual office, from hotel lobbies, just trying to mooch power. We got power back, so I decided to do a stream, a market update. What's going on with BTC? What's going on with the S&P, with Ether? I do have my live row on the chart tonight, right in this corner, right? It's Ether and BTC. Yeah, so our last BTC signal came at 69, at 73. What's the chart doing? So just look at price action, no indicators. We did see an inverse head and shoulders bottom. It was tricky, it was strong, it did chop out a few times, and now it's in play, right? I'm not really paying attention to the heads target, I'm more paying attention to this last fib retracement. As you guys can see on my chart, we are above the 38.2, which is important. We do want a retest of 85 as last time, and then I think 89, that 9K mark. It kind of lines up with these wicks, so it lines up with the 61.8. So that's going to be my next really big hedge position to take up a really promising short. Now, in the weeks leading up to this one, I did publish on Medium. Let me go ahead and pull that up. About it, the BTC S&P correlation, right? I did say that when the S&P goes between one fib level to the next, it's practically a risk-on market, and when it does that, BTC does the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and hop into the SPY, look up that comparison to see where we are. We do see a head and shoulders. If you guys that are in Discord, the S&P does have a head and shoulders. I did say that I'm gonna start taking up the VIX on Friday. I did buy some VIX over here at like 326, 327 when we were topping. And now we're seeing a head and shoulders somewhat, maybe. I want to see the correction, I want to see the pullback. Let's go to the weekly chart and compare it to the other weekly chart. I'm just going to move all indicators. Do this big fib zone. So these circles I have, they were the major Fibonacci retests after a breach. We have not retested so far. And once you draw your fib properly, you see exactly what I'm talking about. We climbed above the 2.6. We kind of bubbled. I did post on all our outlets that if you want to trade a bubble, the S&P was ready for that. I want to see a liquidity grab. It's going to be a big pullback if it does happen. And hopefully it does, but I want to get back to that 304 level. The importance of this, why am I even looking at this? It's because during these levels, during these periods, I'm not going to call them levels, during this period, between the 1.0, between the 0.76 to 1.0, Bitcoin had a bull run. Between the 1.0 and the 1.6, Bitcoin had a bull run. Between the 1.6 and 2.6, Bitcoin had a bull run. And just now, BTC did kind of do a type of bottom, right? And these bull runs, they all coincide with the BLX chart on my other screen. So I'm going to try to center this on my screen so you guys can see. what I'm talking about. And that's another reason for you guys in VIP. I did say, hey, it's time to scale in for some big longs. Move more BTC on your margin exchange. I had happy Sunday, Delilah. What's going on, Terry? So between, I last couple of weeks said, hey guys, send more BTC. We want to leverage a big long because we're going to go for a run. This green line coincides with this retest, right? The next green line with this retest. As you can see, we took off, and then we entered a corrective phase. The S&P entered a corrective phase as well. And then we had further continuation of the upside, right? When the 2.6 broke, that was the 1.6. The 1.6 broke, BTC was at a price of $716, and between the 1.6 to 2.6, I'm going and draw those on the chart so I don't confuse you guys too much talking. During this period, the S&P made 42%, and during that same period, BTC did, I think like 2,000. Yeah, 2,000%, 2,200. Now, what's going on now? We got another fib break. We don't have a solid retest. I do think we should be getting close to that retest. I will let you guys know why next. Right, and we have very similar patterns on BTC where we came up, we had this corrective impulse to the upside. I'm going to delete this. I'm not sure where that went on my chart. This fib, there we go. Alright, so we did have an impulse up. Go ahead and move that over. Right, we came back, tested the 23.6. Historically, coming out of these corrections, we have never broken below the 23.6 except for a brief fake out in January 2016. So, I was telling the guys in VIP that I want to see that big candle at 93.78, the God candle, to kind of rejuvenate this market. Now, that being said, I'm going to hop into why the S&P might be correcting and why the retest is going to be really important for all markets. We had a TD sequential. And we are on a weekly 9. We should be on a weekly 9. We're past that 9. I think we're at 10, 11, 12, right? The 13 candle, usually a topper candle. So I'm looking for some kind of top here for a pullback, right? We did see that previously here. There's another TD9 for this pullback. Another reason this is important is, guys, if we get this pullback, this is the time. That'll be the time to like add or buy the S&P on that pullback, because we are in a bubble. We are gonna go to 3.618, which is the $380 mark. All right, I'm done with the S&P. Let's go to ETH USD. It's looking very interesting. Let's go to the Coinbase chart. So, what's going on a weekly basis? Go to the 4 hours, what I drew this on. Alright, so the 4 hour is breaking out of the wedge. As you can see, the live row on my Ether is at 463. This long was issued down here at 135, 136, right? I signaled it and I had a BTC signal at the same time too. We're breaking up. We're currently above at the 38.2% Fed. I want to see it move higher, right? Even before hedging now, if you're looking at Phantom Script, it's looking promising, right? We are above the last midline on the 4 hour. I'm good and turn off our XABCD scanner for now. Right, we are breaking above that midline, right, and that's really important. There's a little bit of a cup and a handle or an inverse head and shoulders over here, so I'm expecting it to get sent higher. I think the 30-minute chart was giving me a target of 151, and the 2 hour chart was given above target. The hourly is given 151 as well. The 4 hour was given 168, right? I will take a short hedge at 155 because of fibs. That's where BTC pulled back at the 50%. That's why we hedged the 50%. Long-term scope, if you look at the chart, it is definitely a wedge. It is definitely a wedge that is breaking out right now. Now, what other wedges? This is just a falling wedge, right? Interestingly, BSV is in a wedge breakout. BSV seems to be mooning right now. Let's look at the Bitrix chart. There's just smaller wicks there. I was asked for a target on BSV, and I do believe the target is still overhead, right? It's 61.8, which would put it like 187, right? It rejected at the 50. BT rejected the 50. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a little bit of a pullback, but I did say there was a wedge on here. This would be a different type of wedge. This would be a descending, broadening wedge with a really nice, clean dual retest. Right, we had 2 retests, and this is a broadening wedge, right? It's also a reversal formation, and it was almost spot on perfect, right? So another chart that's it's not quite in a wedge breakout; it's a parallel channel breakout, which would be BTC, right? If we look at the daily chart, this looks like this is a weekly chart. This kind of looks like a massive bull flag. And if you're like, oh, well, it's a flag or a channel, or we're in a bear market. One of our subscribers on YouTube the other week said, I don't long in a bear market. Well, missed out on some profits, man. Alright, going into XBT USD so we get more details on the daily. If you guys have questions, what's going on, Abdul? If you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. I will gladly look over them. If you guys want me to look at alts, I will ask for some alts, and we'll get this going. So here we have the XBT USD. I did say the weekly looks like a bull flag, and we're finally out of the channel. The channels, I guess, the body closes. We had a clean retest. I would say there will be a pullback. I would say there would be a pullback back to the 8100 range. Before we talk about the pullback, I'm going to pull up gold. For you guys that are in VIP, for you guys that follow us, you guys that know that I was comparing the BTC chart. I even did this on Twitter, on our Facebook. I was comparing the Bitcoin bottom to the gold bottom right here, alright? And even though it's a lot more sped up in terms of time frames, go ahead and remove all drawing tools. Even though it's a lot more sped up in terms of time frames, but I mean, these are spitting images of each other. And the reason I caught this before the breakout, before anybody else tweeted on it, because I published on gold when we were here, and I said we're going for a bull run. That publication's on Medium. It's called Gold's Out of the Gold. Wait, Cat's Out of the Golden Bag, right? And I did say it's going to be Iran escalations, and we had the Iran escalations. We started getting these big candles. That's people like, oh, gold and Bitcoin are mooning. Anyways, more interestingly, if you look at the gold's daily chart, it did do a big bull flag. And if you look at BTC's weekly chart, right, I mean, these things are looking pretty similar, man. Right? Like, I'm not going to say they're a spit an image, but you guys get the point, right? Does look fairly similar. A lot of consolidation here, and then a pop. Haven't gotten a BTC pop just yet. What's going on, Alpha? Thank you. So, BTC. Back to the gap. So we're gonna go to BTC1, which is the what's it called? The CME chart. 81.25 is where CME closed. XBT USD is currently 81.77. We're not very far away from filling a gap. Let's go ahead and just draw that gap here. So if we do break out higher, right, And I'm looking to just profit take, profit take, profit take. 81.27. We're not very far off this gap, and I feel like, you know, the invisible hand has been really taming BTC over the weekend, so we don't have these $3,000 flash crashes to fill gaps. Now what about here? What about this last gap? This last gap filled, right? On the CME chart, the gap was filled. You guys see that? And ironically, if you wanted the buy signal on this, right, for you guys that have our phantom script, the hourly chart, where'd it go? Gave you this signal. All right. This pullback over here, right? Hourly phantom gave buy, and it was down there for 3 hours. Then on this bullish impulse, right, one should have added long. What did RBI say? RBI kind of gave a confirmation too. Had a divergence and a buy signal. Chart went up, and now we're looking for likely continuation. I want to see 8,900. Where is this going to top off for the weekend? Where do I think it's going to top off? Or we're going to stick to phantom. You guys might hate it, but the 5-minute chart, it does not lie either, right? So we did see a lot of support here come in at our phantom midline, right? It turned red, the other one turned red, and it prices above it. So we are likely going up a little higher. Where's my tools price label? We are likely gonna go up to 83.30. As you can see, I've got an alert up there. That dashed line, that's gonna let me know to, hey, pay attention, take profit on the perp long, add a little bit to short, write it back down, add a gap fill, and yeah. Now we did have a few tops show up on our XABCD scanner. Here's the 15-minute. That's the thing, if you're using the scanner, you definitely want to hop around different time frames. The very top was signaled on both indicators, right? And let's go ahead and just highlight. These don't show 4-point. This is what I really wanted to highlight: the 0.786, the bearish butterfly, and then the bearish 3 drive that did play out. Now, on phantom, the reason I called the hedge at 85, because on the 3-hour we had that midline, right? And it was definitely rejection there on the first attempt. That's why we had short up here. Now, that's all I have for ETH BTC in the market, right? I want to see it move to 83.26 unless this midline fails, right? Unless that 81.36 fails. Let's go through some different time frames. At 15, we're above. Another possibility, right, would be higher. It would be 86, 84. I don't know if we're going to run up to that over the weekend. We could, especially with RBI looking the way it is. Another more interesting development is RBI on the daily. We do finally have that bullish cross, right? The last time we saw one of these bullish crosses was way back here in January 1st of 2019. Then we did have RBI entanglement. So for you guys that are not in a long position, for you guys on the sideline, I would look for this to happen again, right? Where we get a signal line bouncing off the KD. For you no coiners, I know there's no coiners out there waiting for 5K. I don't think you're gonna get it, guys. I don't. So ideally, you want to see signal line go up and then come back down, and then retest on KD, right? So we have this entanglement. That would be a great opportunity to go really hard and along, especially if you're no coining right now and you sold at 13K. All right, taking all coin requests, guys. Taking all coin requests. Let's see what alts are doing. I want to look over ETH BTC too. It was the 240 that was giving me a really good reading. Nope, hourly. There we go. The hourly ETH BTC is giving me a good reading. We're above the midline. I want to see it move up. I want to see it move even higher. ETH is, they're both breaking out of channels. Differences: BTC has gaps to fill and Ether doesn't. Anybody have questions? Anybody have alts you want me to check on? You guys want to keep this one short and sweet? Alright, we're seeing a flag develop. I think we're going to push through Phantom on the 15. Talking about ETH BTC, and then maybe go to the 30. No questions, no alts. Well, guys, it's a pleasure bringing you the short, brief stream. My goal is to stream 3 times a week, and I did one on Monday. And then I was going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday we got rocked by the earthquake. So I got power back. Dash, Zeke, and Litecoin, please. Thank you, Mark. So we did get power back. You want these in BTC pairs or USD pairs, Mark? Oh my goodness. So Dash, I'm just going to ignore Phantom, and I can tell you this is a strong wedge. Right? I mean, it's not a pennant. Strong wedge on the 30. Looks like volume is kind of dying off. RBI isn't tingling. Let's look at some different time frames. Yeah, look at that, right? Look at that. Went up, it re-entered, it had a BTC pairs. So we did have that breakout. Look, no sell signal here on Phantom. Chart retraced at a falling wedge, attempted the midline. Once it closed above the midline, it continued. And guys, this is textbook what happens with Phantom script, right? Now we're doing a big rising wedge at the top of the hourly sell. I would be careful with alts, right? I would be careful with alts because BTC is spending a run, ETH is spending a run. So yeah, that being said, I do think it could be at a take profit level. Let's check other time frames though. The 4 hour is up and gone. I've been a nice pullback to buy. Let's go to the 720. Definitely rebounded hard, man. Yeah, I would, in terms of resistances, I would look for 90.32 to be a top, or right here potentially, right? Right here potentially. All right, that would be for Dash. Going over Zeke. The reason I'm using Binance is because of the volume, right? So now what we're seeing here on Zeke, a little different story, right? It's not really liking Phantom's hour, but we're also seeing a very similar story in terms of a rising wedge. What do we know about these two coins? They are both privacy coins, right? And in terms of conflict, global conflict, wartime, in terms of Iran war, Iran sanctions, why is golden wire BTC moving, right? I think BTC gets moved by these sanctions because of it's a transfer of value. If I was to buy $1 billion worth of oil from one of you guys and you bring me the ship, I can do one of two things because there's banking sanctions on me. I could either put a bunch of gold on a ship and send it back and risk that getting confiscated or getting shot down or drowned in the bottom of the ocean, or I can just send you Bitcoin for it, or any kind of privacy token type thing. And I'm not just talking about oil, but all sorts of cross-border payments being made with sanctioned parties with tighter sanctions, so like China, not China, but Iran, Russia, and so forth. I'm not saying they're using Zeke, but we're going to see a rally, we're going to see pops, and any kind of safe transfer of value that's a cross-border payment. Back to Zeke, BTC seems to really want to trade the Phantom 360. And we're seeing a sell here. So I would take profit on these runners, right? I would take profit on these runners. I want to look at RVN just before the stream. So that is a good suggestion. Thank you, Alpha. I'm going to cover Litecoin before that. I did have some USD sitting in my Binance, and I went ahead and clicked buy on Litecoin. There wasn't much BTC, but or not much USD in Binance, so I bought LTC BTC looking for a run, and that was like yesterday, so I bought it like down here in USD, so it popped up a little. Look at this. In terms of does Litecoin like Phantom? All right, buy, sell, buy the pullback, and now we're going up. First couple levels of resistance I want to see is going to be 64, 68, right? We want to see what happens at these midlines. Anytime we get rejection at a midline, we're going to see bearish continuation, right? If we close above the 64, I'd want to see if we close above 67. We close above 67, then it's a bigger move up. But I would expect a continuation out of LTC just looking at this chart. LTC, BTC going over into the hourly. We're above Phantom. We did have some sells that went down to midline, sell went down to midline, boom, buy, and bull flag, and now it's gone. Alright, going over Raven, RVN, BTC, going over the Binance chart as well. The hourly is liking Phantom. It's dipping below, it's still choppy. Let's go over like larger time frames. Go to 360. Doesn't like the indicator a whole lot, or my settings or something. My last RVN signal was down here. You guys remember those wedges I just highlighted on Zeke and Dash? Right, one thing I want to say is the market likes to cycle. We'll see some coins cycling and we'll see others not. And one thing I did is I didn't sell all my Raven at the top of this wedge, even though I had seen it, I had identified it. I scaled out partially and I moved the stop into profits. But what I would recommend is take some profits while you're at the top of the wedge. Right? Time and time again. We do see an RBI entanglement. We don't see a bullish cross, right? You can't see that, but I can. So here we go. So RBI is sort of entangling. The signal line bounced off K. K is below D, so we're not quite gonna pop yet. Let's go to the daily chart. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm a Raven bull. But I currently have very little Raven right now just because I've been expecting that BTC pop. Which brings me to another chart. Let's look at dominance, right? Let's look at BTC.D. Right, and let's throw Phantom on here. Let's start with a scan actually. Nothing on the daily. Nothing on the 4 hour. Oof, the 720 likes harmonics a lot. Look at this top. Look at this secondary buy here, right? Why is this doing? So I'm going to refresh this real quick. Have a sip of water. The reason I refreshed is because we did an update on the scanner, on the XABCD scanner. Maybe it's a trading view bug. These completes are supposed to be printed here. So 240. Nothing, the 30. I'm just doing a quick harmonic scan, see if anything stands out. Look at this bearish 3 drive, big pullback. I wouldn't think this is valid. I don't think the 886 is valid because there's that swing low below it. So let's go ahead and turn those off and see what Phantom's saying. The reason I do this, guys, is because we built a trading system, and that's why we did it. So we're at a midline. Let's go to the hourly. I want to get a bigger perspective on this channel. 120. Anytime you pull up a chart, go through the various time frames. See which ones are the most applicable. 240. It's like looking at 360. It's definitely an iffy for alts, right? So it'd be a good time to kind of at least take some profits on anything that's at the top of a rising wedge. I want to see this midline, BC get back above the midline if we're going to get a pure BTC run, unless alts are in some sort of relief rally, right? I was looking at BAT earlier, and it was looking good. I'm in very few positions right now in terms of alts. All right, so you guys have any further questions? Any other alts you want me to look at? I'm going to look at gold and silver before wrapping it up. And one thing I had said, the reason I shorted gold, like why would you short gold, dude? The reason I filled my gold shorts last week, really. Last Monday. Was the 0.618 wick fill. I did profit take the majority of that short, right? I need to flip long soon and ride the continuation up. But I saw this and I figured there's no way we're going to push through 61.8 the first attempt. But everything else looks bullish on this chart. I don't think we're ready to like move down. Not on the 3-day RBI, not on the daily RBI. 4 hour gave that short, the second short, right? That's kind of where I filled. Now we're back down. Yeah, either that or maybe wait for a retest down here, more liquidity in the chart. Gold likes these big ranges, sort of like Bitcoin. And then looking over silver, not quite at where I want to see silver. It's very much lagging behind, right? If gold's at a 0.618 retracement, silver is still below the 23, guys. Not very sexy, not very bullish. Now at some point I did say I want to take out $20 or $22 calls. Got that somewhere on Discord. Maybe this week, all depending on what's going on. No divergences off these two tops. RBI signaled the top here. Pullback, no div. If you guys have RBI and you're just buying oversold on the daily, right? You're gonna be in some profits. You're selling, profit taken over bought. I mean, you could trade this thing in spot on some of these assets, something like silver. Let's throw Phantom on here. Above the Phantom daily, that's bullish. Above that bull flag, right? The 4 hour. Let's go back and draw that bull flag. So a lot of transfer of value assets, gold, silver, breaking out of wedges. It is no surprise that Ether, BTC, and BSV are breaking out of wedges, right? Alright, fam bam. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. If you're not on Discord, click the link, join Discord. And I got a little minor announcements for you guys. If you're interested in VIP or premium, there's a link in the description. It's the join the signals group. Your second month is free through the 15th, right? So you got like 4 more days if you want to join and get a month free. Click that link, sign up, and get in the savagery, right? Current up positions, 1300 on BTC, 451 on ETH, right? So pretty good. Taking it a little slower on alts just because we're gonna get a BTC run. Might do a little bit more alt weighing throughout the week. I'll let you guys know what I'm seeing. I start firing off those signals again. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Hop in the Discord. Yeah, we'll see you there.